Hello, welcome back to Ben Keenan Just Can't Stop Talking. It is Thursday, February 13th. Yes, another dark day because yes, once again, I had to work. You know, somebody's got to pay these bills. Unless there are multiple sponsors that want to come in here and pay these bills for me, somebody's got to pay these bills. By now, you know the drill. We're going to talk a little bit about what happened last night when we logged off, all the way through what happened today when we logged off. And there's always some shit going on, so let's just dive right in. So, overnight on Wednesday at 6:10 p.m., Missouri's Attorney General is suing Starbucks over DEI practices, claiming that they raise prices and slow services because they aren't hiring the most qualified workers, which is perhaps the stupidest fucking thing that I've ever heard. Like, explain to me how many people are going to like a fucking coffee academy. Starbucks trains their baristas. Bitch, if you went to a bad Starbucks, complained to them, you don't have to sue the entire corporation. God, get a life. 6:20 p.m., Joann's Fabrics is looking to close 500 stores across the U.S. amid bankruptcy claims. Yes, one of them is the one about 4 blocks from my apartment. I don't go there. I didn't even know it was there, so the closing's not going to impact me. At 9:56 p.m., country singer Lainey Wilson and her boyfriend Devlin, Duck Hodges, are officially engaged. And at 11:06 p.m., Carmakers Honda, Nissan, and Mitsubishi are officially dropping their merger talks. All right, slow night. Let's kick it into Thursday. Today, 2:27 a.m., Hamas said that it will actually release Israeli hostages as planned on Saturday, apparently resolving some major dispute that threatened the ceasefire deal in Gaza. 6:32 a.m., a group of federal taxpayers have sued Elon Musk and the Treasury Department for allegedly allowing Elon Musk's team, that's a hard word, Musk's team to have access to sensitive Treasury information on Americans. At 7:01 a.m., Jeff Bezos's rocket company, Blue Origin, announced a large round of layoffs, though the full number isn't known yet, but there were rumors that it could be up to like 1,000 people. This is like years after they've been like growing and growing and growing. So this is kind of, At 7:35 a.m., Halsey announced her For My Last Trick, the tour. At 8 a.m., Redfin announced the layoffs of 450 employees after striking a new partnership with Zillow. Once again, I'm telling you a lot about layoffs, and you're going to continue to hear about this because Donald Trump said that there's going to have to be like that hiring freeze kind of thing nationally to get prices down. And I told you we're probably going to head into a recession because of that. So I'm just going to keep you updated because we're going to see where the ball is rolling, unfortunately. Also at 8 a.m., Washington Democratic Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal has introduced a constitutional amendment to reverse Citizens United, which was the law that gave, or the decision or whatever, that gave corporations personhood, basically saying that they are able to put a lot of like specific money and power into politics. And it actually took a ton of power away from the average American. So this is good. It like gets a lot of spending out of politics for those of you that care about that. At 8:01 a.m., Minnesota Democratic Senator Tina Smith announced that she will not run for re-election in 2026.
I wanted you to hear directly from me that I have decided not to run for re-election to the United States Senate in 2026. I have loved my job as United States Senator. And also, after 20 years of hard and rewarding work in the public sector, I'm ready to spend more time with my family.
Dare I say, this directly opens a slot for a certain Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, who also just happened to do a national tour as the vice presidential nominee on the Democratic ticket with Kamala Harris. At 8:03 a.m., the New York Jets have informed Aaron Rodgers that they will, quote, be moving in a different direction at quarterback. Womp womp. 8:16 a.m., Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco have teased a new music collaboration with an Instagram story post that says, I said I love you first, on a piece of paper next to some music equipment, it looks like. At 8:23 a.m., anti-vax conspiracy theorist and former 2024 Democratic presidential candidate turned independent, turned Trump flacky, RFK Jr. has officially been confirmed as our next Secretary for Health and Human Services. He was confirmed 52-48 with, just like Tulsi Gabbard yesterday, all Democrats voting no and only one Republican Senator Mitch McConnell from Kentucky, voting no. That's right, ladies and germs, emphasis on the germs portion of this. The man who spearheaded the charge on vaccines cause autism and caused a massive measles outbreak in American Samoa, which killed 84 people, is going to be the next head of Health and Human Services and kind of be watching over our entire healthcare system. If you're curious why Mitch McConnell voted no on this one, you should probably know that he is a childhood survivor of polio and has actively said that he's not going to vote for somebody who's trying to take away things like the polio vaccine. I'm going to continue to tell you more about the vaccines and global health trends here because we can't necessarily trust that the government is going to be doing this, considering a judge had to mandate that the FDA and CDC update their websites because Trump literally just took them offline. So you'll get the information from me, and I will get it from sources outside of the US government. At 8:44 a.m., HBO Max has announced the February 17th release of a Luigi Mangione documentary called, quote, Luigi Mangione, the CEO Killer. I'm going to say this, and I hope that somebody out there agrees with me. Can we stop making documentaries about things that literally just happened when we don't have any additional information beyond what just happened in the news like 2 weeks ago? The same thing just happened with Diddy, and now we're doing it with Luigi. Like, take a fucking beat. No one is running to your side and saying, like, we're going to watch this every single day of every single minute. The information already has been known. Just give it a beat and wait for some new shit to come out. At 9:24 a.m., Brooke Rollins was confirmed as Trump's Secretary of Agriculture. At 9:25 a.m., Minnesota Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, so the person who is directly under Governor Tim Walz, has announced that she is already throwing her name in the ring for the newly opened Minnesota Senate seat. However, if you want some insider baseball, Tim Walz cannot run for a third term as governor. If he decides he wants to run for Senate, there is a strong chance Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan is in a good position to run and win as governor of Minnesota. She hasn't officially announced. She will say she'll announce next week, but she's like throwing her hat in the ring for the, looking around to see if she's interested. But she's the only one who's actually done so far today. At 9:39 a.m., Madonna teased new music with a picture captioned, quote, I'm putting my heart and soul into my new music and I can't wait to share it with you. Confessions Part 2. At 11:07 a.m., Donald Trump signed a new plan to increase tariffs, fantastic, to match the tax rates that other countries charge on imports for the U.S., which, according to the Associated Press, could possibly trigger a broader economic confrontation with allies and rivals alike. So basically, U.S. against everyone. At 11:20 a.m., Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni have rejected mediation in their lawsuits, saying that the settlement talks would be, quote, premature. Like, we're all just so tired of this. Could you just fucking settle and be done with the whole saga? 11:59 a.m., Kanye West and his wife Bianca Censori have split up and are heading for divorce. I will be the first to say this. I would watch a reality TV show based off of all of Kanye West's that's another one, Musk's, Bezos, West's exes. Kanye West's exes. I mean, you cannot tell me that if Kim Kardashian, Julia Fox, Bianca Censori, Amber Rose, like going all the way back to his Alexis Pfeiffer days, like in 2006, sitting around and talking about their lives and like dating Kanye, you cannot tell me that you would not watch the shit out of that. 12:47 p.m., a federal judge in Baltimore, Maryland, paused Trump's order aimed at restricting gender-affirming care for trans youth. At 2 o'clock p.m., NBC News has obtained a letter from then-acting U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, Danielle Sassoon, alleging that New York City Mayor Eric Adams' attorney proposed a quid pro quo to Trump's Justice Department. Keep in mind, she resigned earlier today because she said she would rather resign her role as acting U.S. District Attorney than drop the prosecution of Eric Adams. She literally clerked for Supreme Court Justice Alito, a Republican. This is not some liberal, progressive, Eric Adams ally. She's literally like, I would sooner fucking resign my entire job than drop the case into something that was literally illegal. So now she's come out and said, hey, here's actually a letter. There was quid pro quo between Eric Adams, a Democrat, and Trump, obviously a Republican's Justice Department. It said in part, quote, Adams's attorneys repeatedly urged what amounted to a quid pro quo, indicating that Adams would be in a position to assist with the department's enforcement priorities only if the indictment were dismissed. You should also note that there have been extensive calls across New York, not just from elected officials, for Eric Adams to resign or to be forcefully removed from his office. You should also note that her letter to Attorney General Pam Bondi is literally taking over Twitter right now, and it's like so juicy. If that is your shit, go and read it because it's literally like a big slap in the face to the government. At 2:16 p.m., Florida Democratic Congressman and, fun fact, the only Gen Z member of Congress, Maxwell Frost, and Connecticut Democratic Senator Chris Murphy have reintroduced legislation to bring back the Office of Gun Violence Prevention, which Trump just eliminated like 2 weeks ago. At 2:24 p.m., we learned that the Trump administration is deporting migrants from countries in Africa and Asia to Panama. The flights started yesterday, but I guess there was another one today. At 3:03 p.m., in a new clip, Wendy Williams speaks out from behind the glass of an assisted living facility in the midst of her allegedly abusive guardianship and rumors that she may actually have been misdiagnosed with dementia in the first place. I'm going to play the clip. It's 2.5 minutes long, so you can feel free to fast forward through it if you don't want to hear it. I think it's literally 2 minutes and 36 seconds. So you can just all the way to the front, but it's kind of interesting.
Tell me what your life has been like over the past year. What is it like?
Isolated. Where I am is this place where the people are older, you know what I'm saying? They are in their 90s and their 80s. I eat lunch and dinner in my bedroom. I don't eat out there with the people that live here just because it's so goddamn depressing. There's a bathroom, there's a closet, and the TV, which was purchased by me through the guardian person.
Are you allowed to go out?
No, I am not allowed to go out. I can call you, but you can't call me.
What about communications? Do you have an iPad or some form of a computer?
I have not. Listen, I've asked the guardian person for an iPad since years, it seems like, but an iPad. Can I please have my telephone back? Can I please be able to call, my family? What is the problem with me calling and talking to friends of mine? They're not allowed to come in here, friends of mine. You know what I'm saying?
Over the last, say, 30 days, how much time have you been able to spend outside in the fresh air?
In the last 30 days, I went out twice for my teeth, you know what I'm saying? And that would be that.
Wendy, I gotta say, even people who are in prison for murder get an hour a day outside, and you've only been outside in fresh air twice in the last 30 days?
Yes.
Wendy, we are privy to some of the court documents, and your guardian's name is Sabrina Morrissey. And here's what the judge said in this case. The guardian, that's Miss Morrissey, is to permit Wendy as much independence as is practical. This sounds more like a prison than independence.
Hell yeah. Listen, this system has failed. This system has failed from top to bottom regarding this guardian and everybody involved with that. The system has failed. I want my freedom back. How about that?
At 3:32 p.m., it was announced that Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, and once again, New York City Mayor Eric Adams will do a joint interview with Fox and Friends tomorrow. Can't imagine what that's going to be about. 3:45 p.m., there is a new video of a humpback whale swallowing a kayaker off Chile before literally just spitting it back out into the water. This shit is literally so crazy. I'm going to play it right now, but it's the perfect encapsulation of why I don't fuck with open water.
Sí, yo pensé que me había comido ya y que me había tragado, pero claro, yo sentía que quizás era una orca, habíamos estado hablando de orcas poco antes, entonces tenía eso en la cabeza.
At 3:55 p.m., a group of 14 states have filed a lawsuit against Elon Musk and Donald Trump, arguing that the authority granted by the White House to Elon Musk and the Doge people is unconstitutional. We really can all just agree that this whole thing's probably going to come down to what the Supreme Court thinks is like good and bad, right? 4:01 p.m., Selena Gomez announced a new album, I Said I Love You First, featuring the last song on the album already up, which is the Benny Blanco collab that I mentioned earlier called Scared of Loving You. I listened to it. It's like a minute and a half long. It's slow and kind of sounds like her Mabel voice from Only Murders in the Building singing it. And at 5:05 p.m., this is breaking news as I'm filming this, Apple is in the process of putting TikTok back into the US App Store following a letter from AG Pam Bondi. She is all over the news today, assuring the company won't face fines for doing so. TikTok is already currently available in the Google Play Store for Android users in the US. So That is all the news for today. Once again, another full day. I will see you tomorrow where we talk about more because shit's always happening, you know? If you want to find me in the meantime on social media, I'm on TikTok and YouTube at I've Been Traveling. I'm on Instagram and Threads at Ben Keenan. Or as always, you can follow this podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts at Ben Keenan. Just can't stop talking. And now I am going to stop talking because my throat is still kind of raw from having a sore throat the past 3 days. But I don't think I'm as sick as I was yesterday. So that is a perk. All right, bye.